Hey, Mike here with MikesCornholeBags, and today I'm reviewing the Blackout by KDS. We'll start with the design here, and this is actually a collaboration they did with Airwolf Athletics, hence the Airwolf logo there. I'm a big fan of both companies, and I like the red-black colorway, so I jumped on these. KDS is a smaller company, and they'll do drops or releases on their Facebook page, and when they do, each one's usually a little bit different design, a little different colorway. If you don't like one of the designs, hang tight. The next one might be something like better, or go look on they actually have a fan Facebook group you can check out and maybe buy an older release secondhand that you'll like better. But I have no issues with the design. Even the ones they've had out there, I don't think I've seen one I don't like. This one I just really fell in love with, which is why I grabbed a set of these. But these bags they are not ACL stamped, so no ACL tournaments for them, but if you play in ACOs or other local events, non-ACL events, they're definitely good for that. Material-wise, this is a carpet bag. This carpet is the Viking carpet. It plays at a 4-speed, kind of on that slower end. It's a little bit stickier carpet. I actually like it because it's a very controllable material, and you can shape shots. You can do a lot of things with it, which makes it very fun to play with if you like to play a little bit of a dirtier style game. It is not a super soft carpet, so if hand feel is very important to you, there are some other carpet materials that are better. KDS makes some other carpet bags that may have a little bit softer feel than this. I know this material just doesn't. It's almost a little scratchier than, say, most carpets. Again, I don't have a problem with it. If you throw in the Viking, you know what I'm talking about. It will soften up to a point. I just don't think it's as soft as some other carpet materials out there. Template-wise, this is a touch on the larger side. Not as big as like a Game Changer, but it's a little bigger than your average size bag. And I think that's because it's not a full carpet bag. Right? The fill is not full. So by it not being that full, that bag flattens out more and lays on it, which makes it a great blocker because it takes up a ton of real estate on the board, really blocks up and occupies a lot of space to block that hole for you. The fill in here is mostly, if not 100%, that small disc fill. It's hard to tell. These materials are pretty thick. It's hard to tell for sure. If it is a blended fill, it's still mostly disc fill with just a few beads, but I've pretty much been feeling nothing but that small disc, which does help with the hand feel on it, right? Sometimes you get those beads that you can feel the clunkiness, kind of the bumps and stuff in there. People don't like that. This small disc, you don't feel it at all. So as far as the hand feel goes on that, I like it. And again, I have no issue. I think the bag feels great in the hand. It does have flop to it. A little floppier than, say, a typical carpet bag, but not crazy floppy. Not as floppy as, like a Pro Sniper or a Viper or something like that. But it does have a fair amount of flop to it, which I think the flop does help it as far as the ability to grab a hole. And I'll get more into that here when we talk about playability here in just a moment. So, in fact, we'll go ahead and jump into playability on this while I'm talking about it. So this is being a carpet bag like this and being a little bit slower, stickier material. This is a bag that it's going to shine when you're playing that dirty, muddy style game, right? This is you can run bags in the hole with this, but that's not what this is made for. The downside to this material, and not just the material, to most 4-speed materials, is they're not really super hole friendly. And what I mean is when you get a bag on the slow side hanging on the side of the hole, it's because this material is slow, and the reason it's slow is because it has a little more friction to it, right? It doesn't slide as easily. So that applies not just up the board, but also at the hole. You still have that friction. So when there's a bag hanging there and you're trying to collect it, you're throwing back your bag. You can hit it all you want. It's just not going. You have to get aggressive and come after, especially when it's on the other side of the board. You have to go across the board, like with the cut shot, to clip this bag and try to bring it in and bring them both in. The danger in that is that you run into is if you're a little off with this shot and you go a little too far, you can end up getting 2 bags hung over here. Sometimes you can clip it, but what happens, these bags will bunch up and then they're stuck there, and then you're left with 2 bags outside the hole. You're giving up 4 points instead of just 2 points. And if it gets hung on the back of the hole, the really only way to get that is an airmail drag, and an airmail drag is tough when there's a bag on the back of the hole. You have to come in super high and try to drop it in there. So you're going to have some issues with that. That's not so much a fault of the bag, it's just the material, and I don't know a 4-speed material out there that really is, again, that hole friendly, right? That's kind of the trade-off you get. To gain the ability, the controllability that you get with this material, you're going to give up a little bit on the hole friendliness. Now, the fast side, super hole friendly. You got a bag hanging on the fast side, that's going to be no problem to collect. That's going to slide right in, no issues whatsoever. The advantages of this bag, now that's kind of the negative. That's really the one negative I saw. The hole friendliness, and then this bag will tend to bunch. A little bigger, I did occasionally get it to bunch the hole. That's not really a bad thing. Sometimes when you're throwing carpet, I don't mind clogging the hole, right? If I've got an advantage in the round, then sometimes, especially if I've got first bag and I've got a bag in the hole, and maybe say my opponent doesn't, on my last bag, I want to just clog the hole up so nothing goes in. I'll take my points. So being able to clog the hole up is an advantage if you know how to use that. So I don't want to count that as necessarily as a negative. But the advantages of this bag really is because, again, I mentioned it's a little bit larger bag. It does a great job of blocking. So you can throw that blocker out there, put in your opponent's way, hope to make your opponent make a mistake. But when there's a blocker there, this bag is so great at shaping shots. You know, I can throw a cut shot. I can throw a right to left, a left to right cut shot. I can roll it. I can flop it. There's so many options I have for getting around the bag, getting over the bag, putting a bag in the hole, and leaving that blocker there. And that's where this bag shines. You know, you want to get that. You want to get some bags in front of the hole, and then you can go around them and leave them. And then at the end, flip this bag over fast enough here and push through and collect. As far as the rolls go, typically for me, to roll a bag, I want a carpet bag that's a little fuller, or a bag that's a little fuller. It doesn't be carpet. I just want a little bit of a sticky side. I want it fuller, and I want it to have that bead fill in there because that bead gives a little more bounce. Surprisingly, this bag, even though it's not full and even though it has that disc fill in there, I actually had pretty good success rolling this bag. I think it does a really good job of rolling, flopping. Even when you watch it go up the board, it has a little bit of movement to it. And I don't think it's so much the bead or the fill bouncing as much as it's just this material grabbing as it's trying to go up the board. But all in all, it's really a great bag for shaping shots. You know, throwing your cut. If you're a player who likes to throw cuts, who likes to roll, who likes to flop, who likes to get very creative, this is a great bag for that. And I do like the fact that it is a little bit, it's not as full, a little bit larger template, like I said, because when you're trying to get around a bag, maybe you're trying to cut around, you just got to grab that hole. They did a great job of kind of grabbing and spinning around. Now, again, sometimes if it doesn't sink in and it sits there, it becomes a little hard to collect. But the more bags you've got around the hole, the harder it is for your opponent to get in without taking one of yours as well, right? So I don't have a problem. As long as I can get bags around the hole, they're eventually going to go in, or I can get them in at the end. So all in all, I really enjoyed throwing this bag. I think it's a bag that fits my style. If you're a harder thrower, if you play on faster boards, this is a great option for you because this material is going to do well on fast boards. It's going to do well for hard throwers. If you're a person who likes to roll or flop, or want to start getting into the roll and flop game, this is a great bag for doing that as well. If you're a person who just likes to run bags in the hole, this may not be the best option for you, but KDS makes other bags that are designed for that, and you're probably not going to be throwing carpet anyway if you're just wanting to put 4 bags in the hole every round. But if you're a carpet bag thrower or looking to throw carpet bags, I can't recommend this Blackout enough. I really enjoy throwing this. It's a great bag. So availability, these bags are, the drops and releases are done on Facebook. There's a KDS business Facebook page that you want to go on and like, but there's also a fan group. I think it's called KDS Bag Fanatics or something like that. I'll put a link in the description to be sure I get that right for you. Get on that and join their fan group page because that's where the upcoming drops are announced. And I think most of the drops, if not all of them, are done on that fan group page. In fact, the ones I remember are all done there. When they do a release on there, the last few have been $100 for a set. That's all in shipped to you, so that's your total price. Very reasonable. It's not the cheapest bag, but it's nowhere near the most expensive bag. I think they're well worth the $100 for the set. I'm very happy with them. So yeah, go check them out. In fact, they have quite a few other bags, other models out there, and I've got quite a few sets. I'll have some more reviews coming in the future to you from those, but I have been very happy with all the bags that KDS makes. High quality. I love the way they play. I love the materials. I think you're going to like them. So as long as you're playing not playing in an ACL tournament, you're playing in an ACO or any local tournaments or whatever like that, you can definitely use them. I think you're going to enjoy them. If you have a set of KDS bags, drop a comment below. Let me know which ones you have and how you like them. I thank you guys so much for your support, and I thank you for watching.